Let's talk about your blog for a second. Now, forget blog, because I think, in my mind anyway, and maybe not yours, but in mine, blog, negative, flippant, kind of time-wasting thing, right? When I think about that word as my publication, because I used to write for publications, right? So the publication was my voice. And sometimes it was like an honor, you know, like when I wrote for a publication, kind of esteemed me, you know, like they gave me that little space and said, we want you in our publication, and it felt like a small club. But now, not so much. Now I have my own publication, and the cost, pretty much zero. And so it's a mouthpiece for me, for you, to talk about what you do. Now, do you write well? Don't worry. If you don't write well, you'll learn how through practice, just like you learned your martial arts. You didn't do it well the day you joined. With consistent practice over an extended period of time, you'll learn to use words to describe what you do in a way that sometimes, if you're lucky, reaches beyond somebody's, skepticism, beyond the bombardment of advertisements they already get with people trying to get their attention. Sometimes you'll get through. Part of your publication is to get through to your, like your buying audience, right? People who might come in and take your services. But the other side of that coin is that you probably get more out, I think, of writing for your own self than you do for the customers you're hoping to reach. I think that there's more therapy and more development and more self-education that takes place when you sit down and really put your head around day after day after day about what you care about, what your work is, what you do, why you do it, who helps you, who you admire, who you respect, and your failures too. All those things help you. Now, let's say you do this publication and you write 1,000 entries over 1,000 days, and nobody ever reads it. You trust me a little bit, you're going to get a lot out of it. It's therapeutic, it's empowering, So the other aspect of your publication besides the fact that all that content, as the world works right now, is kind of evergreen. You can write about diabetes extensively, or self-defense for women extensively, for a 6-month period, for a year, and then not write about it for a long time, and all that stuff still affects how people find you and how they learn about your work and how you train your next in command because you've put your ideas down somewhere. But your publication is a tool with which you can help other people in your community, people you want to help, people you're compelled to help, people who, by the nature of helping them, makes it easier for them to help you. So the tool of your publication is multifaceted, yet a whole bunch of you are not doing this kind of training, and you're missing out. And don't give me excuses, because I'm not going to accept excuses from you any more than you would accept excuses from those students of yours who in your heart of hearts, maybe just flat out, that they would benefit, and they've just got some lame excuse. So get in class, give it 100 tries, see then what you gain from it. Yeah, that's what I want you to do with your writing. I want you to get out there and really work it. I don't know how you're going to keep your skills sharp as you get older, as you age, and your skill level declines. Yeah, you don't want to say it declines. You know lots of people who haven't. It declines. So what am I going to do if I'm not training you physically to help you step up as a leader, as a teacher, as a mentor, as someone who has really concrete, highly developed, refined skills? It's in communication. So I urge you to start your publication, and there'll be some pain, like I've written a lot and found out it wasn't being searched by the search engine, so I had to deal with that. And I've written some things that, now looking back, I go, but they're all removable. And I've written some things that, due to my technically unsophisticated, background, they'd all disappeared. I've gained the most from learning to articulate ideas and to make concrete, my positions, my values, and what I'm working on, to fully flesh out mistakes and learn from them. You know, that there's a real therapeutic thing, and it's not for just for you, Mr. or Mrs. Master Instructor. This is something that if I were teaching today in a big school, many of my students, I'd be pushing them in that direction. Articulate, write, communicate, tell your story, archive your experience. Those things will have tremendous value, not only in the present, but in the future when we look back. Okay, I hope that helps you a little bit. And you know, some people want a lot of how-to. You just got to open the darn thing up and sit down and commit yourself to a paragraph or two a day and just keep at it until you master the process.